Welcome, members of the board and senior leadership, to this explainer. Look, today we're tackling a massive, fundamental transformation in how artificial intelligence actually operates within the enterprise. For the longest time, AI was kind of just treated as this compartmentalized IT issue, right? Like some science experiment happening over in a silo. Well, those days are over. The landscape has totally shifted. AI governance is now a top-down, absolute strategic imperative. It's not just a compliance box to check anymore. It's absolutely crucial for securing your market leadership and, frankly, building long-term organizational trust.
Okay, let's dive into this with a pretty staggering number. 35 million euros. Under the brand new European Union AI Act, organizations are facing max penalties of up to 35 million euros, or 7% of their global annual revenue, whichever is higher, for serious violations. No way around it. That establishes the massive enterprise-threatening liability at stake here. We're literally no longer talking about theoretical risks. We are talking about profound financial and reputational exposure.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the paradigm shift, then move right into executive accountability. From there, we'll discuss operationalizing risk, take a look under the hood at the technical engine, and finally, wrap up with a concrete boardroom action plan.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the paradigm shift. We are dealing with a totally new global regulatory reality.
The rules of the game have fundamentally changed globally. This is really anchored by two landmark developments: the EU AI Act, which is active right now, and Colorado's Automated Decision-Making Technology Act, hitting in 2027. For years, AI just kind of operated in this era of, well, ungoverned experimentation based on voluntary ethics, do the right thing. But that era is dead. It's been completely replaced by strict, legally enforceable consumer rights. We're moving away from high-level corporate promises to a hard reality, where consumers have explicit legal rights to notice, explanation, the ability to opt out, and even demand human appeal when AI makes consequential decisions about their lives.
Moving on to Section 2, executive accountability. We need to talk about shifting from liability to creating a competitive moat.
Now, the knee-jerk instinct for a lot of leaders is to just view these new compliance laws as a tax on the business. But as forward-thinking boards, we've got to reframe this. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why. Just like a physical structure needs incredibly strong pillars, a structured, top-down governance architecture is the actual foundation for your AI initiatives. By investing in a unified policy architecture, one that aligns with US and EU standards at the same time, you're building the long-term organizational trust needed to maintain competitive market leadership. It literally transforms compliance from a barrier into the very foundation that makes sustainable innovation possible.
So here's where it gets real. The absolutely crucial point is understanding your legal classification. Both the EU and Colorado laws draw a massive line between AI providers, the folks who actually build the tools, and deployers, the ones who use them. And guess what? Your organization is very likely a deployer. Even if you're just buying an off-the-shelf AI tool from a major cloud vendor, you inherit massive legal liability. As a deployer, the burden falls squarely on you to conduct impact assessments, notify the affected individuals, and provide those meaningful human review pathways we just talked about.
All right, Section 3, operationalizing risk. We're focusing on the high-stakes exposure specifically in HR and marketing.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing what this means on the ground, right? Where automated decisions can create immediate, irreversible, reputational, or legal harm. Notice the stark contrast in these high-stakes compliance obligations across different departments. Over in human resources, AI used for hiring or promotions is classified as high risk by definition. Period. You have to conduct independent bias audits to eliminate any disparate impact based on race, gender, or age. Plus, you have to guarantee meaningful human review. And by that, I mean a recruiter can't just rubber stamp an algorithm's ranked list. They must have the training and the actual authority to override it. Meanwhile, sales and marketing face a completely different set of strict transparency rules. Chatbots must explicitly disclose they are, in fact, AI. AI-generated marketing content has to be clearly labeled, and those dynamic pricing algorithms, they require rigorous fairness reviews so you don't end up accidentally discriminating against customers.
Let's shift gears to Section 4, the technical engine. This is all about IT's new mandate for visibility and audits.
Look, none of these business-level controls are going to work without IT and product development. They frankly carry the absolute heaviest technical implementation burden for these new laws. Their very first foundational step, total visibility. We all know business units frequently buy or build AI tools completely outside of official IT channels. It happens all the time. But now IT teams must aggressively map, discover, and audit all of those internal shadow AI assets. Because, let's face it, you cannot govern what you don't know you have. Every single system must be inventoried, its risk classified, and its oversight controls thoroughly documented.
Okay, so once you actually find all these systems, IT has to enforce some seriously strict data lifecycle mandates. Step 1, verify data provenance and lineage, basically tracking every single data input right back to its source. Step 2, actively minimize bias in the training data sets to make sure they're genuinely representative. And Step 3, this one is absolutely crucial. Under Colorado's law, there is a mandatory 3-year record retention requirement for all automated decision systems. 3 years. That includes keeping tabs on their data inputs, the outputs, and the exact human review processes that were applied.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 5, the Boardroom Action Plan, what you need to do for your very next committee meeting.
Because understanding the law is one thing, right? But operationalizing it from the top down is a whole different ballgame. Here are the exact next steps the C-suite has to take to prepare for incoming enforcement. First, you need to establish a formal board-level AI governance committee, one with genuine technical fluency and a direct line from the chief AI or risk officer. Second, this committee has got to regularly review that shadow AI inventory and really define the enterprise risk appetite. Third, get your legal teams to immediately start renegotiating vendor contracts so you have solid compliance warranties and audit rights flowing upstream. And finally, you absolutely must embed algorithmic impact assessments into the product development lifecycle way before any high-risk tool is actually deployed. Doing these things demonstrates the genuine, documented oversight that regulators and plaintiffs' attorneys are going to be actively looking for.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with these provocative questions. I want you to really challenge yourselves with these at your very next AI committee meeting. Are we accurately classified as a deployer or provider for every single tool we use? When we claim to have human review, is it genuine or is it just governance theater? And ultimately, is our organization treating AI compliance as a defensive barrier, or are we actively building it as the foundation for our future market leadership? How you answer these questions is going to determine your enterprise risk, your personal liability, and your strategic readiness for the decade ahead. Thanks so much for joining me today. Go make sure your governance architecture is as robust as your ambition.